All right, guys, we're back. We're here. Pit Chatter Podcast, Franklin County Speedway. We're recording this above the front side concession stand, above the start-finish line here. A lot of action, start-finish line, and all the way around the racetrack this past weekend during the Boone Tractor Mother's Day Special. I'm your host here for the Pit Chatter Podcast, Langley, Austin, and I've got alongside of me Noah Hinchee. Noah, appreciate you being here with me again this week to talk some racing.
Yeah, man. We're all by ourselves this week.
I know.
Usually we have a spectator crowd.
Yeah.
People running around on the pits. It's just
Now, listen,
we're all lonesome.
racing is 100% fair weather, you know. It's raining outside. Nobody wants to come in here.
That's what I'm saying. Everybody comes and hangs out all during the week. It's raining. There ain't nobody nowhere.
Yep. Speaking of rain, got a little bit of that during Saturday night's show, but we managed to get things back going.
Yeah, I was turning some laps with Timmy in Jordan's little Corolla. I don't know if anybody could hear me. I was trying to commentate as I was going by.
Well, it took me a minute. You know, I'm up here playing music, and every now and then I hear you, and I'm like, why do I hear him? Oh, he's on here. So I cut it off, and then I'd hear you and every once in a while, but it come and go so much that I couldn't. I just turned the music back on. I think it would have been good if it would have picked up all the way around. You know?
I know from listening to Jumbo when he rode in the bus race that one time that it doesn't really work on the back stretch.
Yeah, there's some places.
I was saving it until we came around on the front stretch. You know, Timmy, he's out there he's racing people.
Yeah, well, it's the only racing he gets to do.
We lapped the whole field about 3 times. We definitely won.
I mean, Daryl won't let him race or something. I don't know.
Yeah, we were talking on the phone to our people upstairs.
Yeah.
And they said something about be careful. And he said, I can save it. It's a front-wheel drive, right? And I said, Timmy, this is all-wheel drive. And he was like, oh, well, I don't know.
Even better, I guess.
Who knows how to save an all-wheel drive, but he's going to try to figure it out.
Better hope it saves itself.
I hope so.
Yeah, for sure.
Or else he was going to have a very angry daughter.
Yeah, well. He could. The great thing about it is he could afford to buy her another one, so it doesn't matter.
He could.
You know what I mean? So, Timmy, that he's speaking of, Timmy Meadows. Of course, we're in the Hex Haunted Attractions Tower. Timmy Meadows runs that, and Jordan runs that, but Timmy owns that, right?
Timmy does like the infrastructure.
Yeah.
She runs all the day-to-day operations.
Yeah. Well, she does a good job for sure. Looking forward to getting back. It's been several years since I've been out there. I'm looking forward to getting back there this October, I guess. I ain't got no racing, so.
Yeah, you said you were coming back last year, and then show.
Listen, when I ran race 22, I told people I was going to Langley Speedway for like 19 years, and finally showed up on like the 19th year. So I'll be back eventually.
19 years.
I don't know if that's the exact number, but it's close.
I don't know.
It was 2019, and I think I'd been telling them since like 1999, so maybe 20 years.
I'm not waiting 20 years.
Well, you might have to. I mean,
I'll be still up there selling glizzies at the concession stand.
Yeah, well, at least they found a job you can do.
I feel like I'm really good at that job.
Well, I sold
a lot of glizzies.
Well, I mean, that's good.
I messed up a bunch of people's orders, but I sold them at least.
You know, as long as they didn't bring them back, it's okay.
That wasn't an option. We were like, get out of here. You get what you get.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure going through a haunted house. If I was getting a hot dog, I think I'd want it to be after, not before.
That was actually a problem because people were trying to cross the field after they came out to come back to the concession stand.
Yeah.
You know, they got the shuttle buses. They was almost getting run over by the buses.
Well,
it was
that's
because
of Daryl's driving. Okay.
Well, I think Daryl was relieved of his driving this year. They said he was going a little too hard in the paint.
Well, you know, he's trying to put on a show for him, man. It's entertainment.
He was.
It's entertainment.
I used to, whenever I could, I'd go hop on the bus and ride.
I mean, I think the last time I was there, I don't think they had a bus. I think they had a hay wagon. And that was not a very enjoyable ride, I can just tell you.
Yeah, anybody that's likes race cars or race fans, you'll love the buses.
Yeah.
It's a little dirt driveway, and I'll tell you what, they give her the beans down that thing, man. That's the best part.
Yeah. Fun place for sure. Well, let's talk a little bit about this past Saturday here at the world's fastest 3/8 mile paved oval. We had the Grand National Super Series here. I think they had 10 cars. wasn't a bad field for those guys. That first race, man, they put on a pretty good little show with Isaac Kitzmiller picking up his first win, beating his dad. I mean, his dad tried everything he could to get to him. He just couldn't get there.
Oh, yeah, and the son wasn't giving him no slack either.
No.
You could, if you didn't know, you wouldn't have been able to tell.
Yep.
He was pinching them down, running them up, whatever he could do to fight them off.
Yep, and A.J. Hendrickson was right there behind him too. He was trying to push Jason, the dad there, up on his son, and I mean neither one of them could get there. Good show by those guys. They finished in the top 3 there. Jeremy Mayfield, of course, kind of the quote unquote star of the Grand National Super Series. He didn't get here until first practice was already over with. Only got a few minutes of practice in the second practice, and he wasn't very good.
Yeah, I talked to him after the race, and he said he had almost no brakes, and that's why if you were paying attention, it kind of makes sense because he was sliding up the track every time he threw it into the corner. So he said he was having to pump the brake to get it to hold pressure while he was going down the straightaway, and it's still so. I thought maybe he was playing the invert the first race, but I went up and asked him. He said, "No, I ain't have no brakes."
Yeah. Well, it definitely didn't work out for him in the second race either. He only improved one position, and that was because the 42 car ended up wrecked over here. So
he held it together there a lot better, though.
Yeah, he was
in
better,
the second race.
For sure. Lost my train of thought there, but good racing. Good racing in that first race. A little lackluster in the second race. I think it, other than the big wreck there at the beginning, race kind of just, settled out. Got single file, and of course Jason Kitzmiller won that one. The father won, so the son and the father got to win on.
And they both
Saturday.
got 2 top 3s.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah, the son got third, didn't he?
Yep, he finished third. A.J. Hendrickson got second place in the second race. So yep, Jeremy Mayfield improved to fourth from his fifth place finish in the first race. That was pretty wild wreck over. I didn't see it. I just seen the aftermath of it. Did you catch it?
I caught it at the last second. I saw a whole cluster right here, right going into the turn, and then I looked about midway through turn 1, and I saw that yellow 42 going straight up towards the wall. Yeah. And it looked bad in the moment, but after I watched the video, I mean, anytime you hit the wall head on, it's not good, but
no.
It wasn't terrible. It wasn't as bad as some of the other head-on wrecks we saw here.
Yeah. Other divisions competing Saturday night. Chris Lilly, he spanked them pretty good in both Legends car races. The Manita Tractor and Trailer Legends car division. Man, I don't know what these guys are going to have to do to beat Chris Lilly.
I don't know. They're going to put them in the wall, cheat up their cars, do something.
Yeah.
He's showing them up. He does it. I've been messing with him, telling him he's got to step up the burnout every time.
Yeah.
And he really does step it up every time. He does it a little bit better.
He really does. But he's getting lots of practice.
Yeah,
so,
he is.
With practice comes perfection, I guess. But he went to Wide Open Window Tent, Hext Haunted Attraction, and Maggard Insurance Victory Lane twice on the night. Daniel Silvestri, he qualified on the pole for the first race. Of course, they got inverted, I believe, but qualified on the pole for the first race, ended up finishing second. Ethan Troll was third. James Folds fourth, and Phil Smith fifth, which was the same finish in the second race. Not much going on through the field there.
Yeah, I can't wait for True to get him one.
Oh, he's going.
I mean, you can tell every time I interview him, you can tell just how aggravated he is.
Yeah,
and it's going to be a good one once he finally beats it. I think he will eventually, sometime this year. He'll get him one for sure. But he's come a long way in his time here, and he's stepping it up.
Yeah, when he finally got his first win last year, I thought, man, he'd just start, breaking them off, right after. But he's kind of struggling almost as hard for his second win as he did his first one. So we'll see what it takes for him.
I think he's struggling more for this second one.
I don't think so. I mean, he's, when you got to race against guys like Chris Lilly and Daniel Silvestri, experience levels, the amount of time they've had behind the wheel of a race car compared to him, I think he's just, he's right where he needs to be. He's good. He's right there with them. The first race, not this week, but the last time, the first race of the night, man, he's up there battling, takes the lead. Really good. So I don't know that he's struggling anymore. I think it's just the competition just keeps getting better and better, and which means he's got to keep getting better, and he is. I mean, he's just. It takes a while to get up there to that competition.
Well, he's still young. In 5 years, who knows where he's going to be?
100%. I believe you'll see him, in a late model or a 602 mod or something like that before long. So
yeah, I'd love to see it.
Yeah, me too. I think he'll do a good job in no matter what he's driving. So, other race, Benny Stocks, man, that one went south in a hurry. Had a Let's set this up. Of course, first race winner, Dennis Holdren was here. Man, see him rolling in. I hate to say it, I'm kind of like, well, there's our winner for the night. Nope. Qualified third. Said he was beat on tires. His tires didn't, whatever it was with his tires, they just wasn't as good as those other guys, and didn't look like he was going to be able to compete for the win. And Josh Phillips had qualified on the pole, Stonewall on the outside. Those guys got to racing. Didn't last long. Turn 3, lap 6. I know you said you didn't really get to see the start of it. My opinion, Josh kind of, the 27 of Stonewall kind of got underneath him coming down the back straightaway just a little bit. And as they went down in the turn, I think Josh took a little different arc than he would have ordinarily, which looked like he was leaving the door open for Stonewall to race side by side with him, because that's what I thought. I was like, well, here these guys are going to go race side by side. And in an instant, they made contact right before they got to the center of the corner, and then they made real hard contact. The 27 went up into the wall head on, destroyed his car. The 46, backed her in there, tore his car all to pieces. Tough way for those two guys to go after, out-qualifying Dennis Holdren, who's going to be hard to beat all year.
When you can feel the vibration in your chest of the car hitting the wall,
yeah,
it's a bad one.
Oh, it was a bad one for sure. I was glad to see that both of those guys were able to walk away from the crashes. That was a hard one for sure. Left Dennis Holdren, in the catbird seat, and Scott Foley. Dennis Holdren picked up the win. Scott Foley finished second. Jeff Martin run his first race here with us. He said he started here back in the day, making his first mini stock start here in a long time. Finished third. David Duncan, great run for David Duncan, man. He was up there. He's been talking about this motor that he's got, and we hadn't really seen what it could do, but man, Saturday night, man, he was right up alongside of those guys, those front runners, after every restart.
Yeah, he was putting it on a little bit. I mean, I'm still waiting on. I think he said he had a tube chassis car he's trying to put together.
Yep.
I'd like to see, because back in the day he was one of the main guys every week,
100%.
Week in and week out.
Yep.
So I'd love to see him continue to get better and better and put it on these boys.
Yep, for sure. Stephen Delp ended up fifth. Well, that'll take us to the stock fours.
Here we go.
And things got exciting from the drop of the green flag, man.
From qualifying.
Well, yeah, really from qualifying. You're 100% right. Josh puts it on the pole, and I'm like, well, nobody's going to beat that time. And then Jaden Austin goes out and runs faster in an automatic car.
In the automatic. It blew my mind.
What in the world, man?
Yeah, and I walked up to Jaden's window and told him. He didn't even believe me for a second. He was like, yeah, very funny. And I was like, bro, look.
Yeah.
You ran whatever it was, a 47
or something, 45, 47,
it was
whatever
crazy.
I was like, what in the world? Because I'm going to tell you, they had practiced during the week a couple times, and, I mean, he didn't turn any 40s of any kind, any 50s of any kind, any 60s of any kind. I mean, he pulled one out on that lap for sure.
Oh, yeah, he did.
Which they had been working on it. They've been moving the weight around, I saw, and they've been working on trying to get that right. And I think it's something that every one of those guys in this class is doing right now, moving weights around, and they're finding, with this new weight rule, a lot of them don't know where to place weight. They've never had to. They've never had to understand that. Now they have to understand where the weight needs to go, what it does to the car, and all of that. And I think they're finding that.
Yeah, they're figuring it out. Jaden is for sure, at least.
another automatic car, Austin Williams. We'll talk a little bit more about him as we go along, through this race. But, running up in third most of the race. Right there with Josh Hinchee and Keyshawn Glader. Even right there with them as things, and we'll go ahead and dive into it, coming toward the end of the race here. Lap car kind of got in the way, which I should back up. I'm getting ahead of myself here. At the beginning of the race, Josh pushes the issue under Keyshawn, for the lead. They were all, and I don't know, maybe it's the rules. I don't know what it is, but they're all so close that I think they got to take any move that comes to them.
Yeah, they do for sure. And Josh, he definitely had to be a little more aggressive than he usually likes to be.
Yeah.
But like he told us,
he said he's
going to be more aggressive, and he did, and he kind of moved Keyshawn a little bit. And
listen, right from the green flag, I think Jaden started on the pole there, and I think he was a little bit perturbed about how aggressive they were from the start there. Yeah. I don't think he expected that. Whatever. It's racing. That's what it is. But come down to that last lap, man. The lap car got in the way, and they go off into turn number 1. And most people that probably listen to this have seen the video on Facebook by now or on TikTok. But go down in there, and Keyshawn, Josh gets a bad angle because he goes below the lap car and gets kind of shoved down the track because the lap car is trying to get down the track, which is a whole nother conversation for another day about that. But gets a bad angle going into the corner, doesn't really protect the inside the way he needs to. Keyshawn slings her down in there, gets to his bumper, moves him up. They battle like crazy. I thought Keyshawn was going to end up looking like that Mustang going down the back straightaway over there.
It looked like it for a second.
Man, but Keyshawn came out, took home the victory, and I don't think Josh Hinchee was very happy about that.
He was not, and it's it sucks that that's the way it went down with the lap car and all that. And
without the lap car, I don't think Keyshawn wins.
No, Josh had about maybe not 3 cars, at least 2
3
cars on him, and there was only one lap, lap and a half left.
Yeah,
Josh had that one pretty much locked up if it wasn't for that lap car. So it just sucks that that's the way it happened, but it made it entertaining. That's for sure.
100%.
Made for some last lap drama.
100%, and I'm glad those guys, they all get out of the car, and in the heat of the moment, I'm gonna wreck this guy. I ain't taking that crap. I'm gonna go wreck this guy. Well, ain't nobody wrecking anybody, but they're racing the crap out of each other.
Well, that's the first thing Keyshawn said when I went to interview him. He said Joshua did the same thing to me.
100%. So, I believe that wholeheartedly.
If you looked at Keyshawn's car after that, the whole right side of his car is about flattened.
Yeah.
His poor sponsors at Yoder's Custom Meat Process, it's rubbed off.
Yeah.
You're going to have to get new stickers.
Yep. I think they'll take that for a win, though, don't you?
Oh, Keyshawn would 100% take that for a win.
Yeah. It might cost him as much for the decal as it did to win.
He's going to have to do his special and zip tie that bumper back on there. He had dragging.
Yeah. Well, a lot of bumpers got ripped off.
Oh, yeah. It was a good one. When Keyshawn was going around, that thing was dragging. You could hear every little bump in the track.
Yeah. I guarantee it. Yeah, it was good, man. Those guys put on a whale of a show in that first race. And, it wasn't just up front. The whole field was battling, and they're all like it. And like I said, I think a lot of it can be attributed to the rules and the weight and, all those things. Man, they're so equal.
And they're, even with everything going on with Josh and Keyshawn and whoever else hates each other, whatever's going on, they're still doing all this without wrecking each other.
20 laps, caution-free. I think it was 6 minutes and 56 seconds it took to run the race.
It was a good race, and it was exciting, and they're doing it without wrecking each other.
And they spent the whole race on top of each other.
Yeah.
Even, like I said, Austin Williams, when Keyshawn went to go down to go up underneath of Josh, say what anybody can say what they will. Well, he shouldn't have made that move. What the hell else was he going to do? Because Austin's going to run over him if he doesn't make that move.
Yeah.
Because Austin's right there. And honestly, Austin was in the catbird seat. They should have wrecked. When they come off of turn 2 they should have wrecked. Austin probably should have won that race, but he didn't.
I think
not to.
I think hindsight's 20/20, but I think if Austin had tried to sling it to the outside, he probably would have got by him.
Yep.
And with that short amount of time left, even if he is in a slightly slower automatic, he's winning that race if he had got by him on the outside. I mean, it's hard to think about all that when you're
100%.
When two cars are beating the hell out of each other right in front of you. But
I think he thought he was going to follow Keyshawn through or help push him through, and that wasn't the case.
I thought he thought it was going to go a lot smoother than it did.
Yeah, it definitely did not.
He almost got collected up right up with it. That would have been something if all three leaders had wrecked each other out.
Yeah, that would have give Jaden or Wes, depending on how it played out, possibly the victory right there. It was incredible, man. I'm telling you, the racing those guys did over the course of the entire 20 laps was amazing, and people on Facebook kill me. I have to laugh. Oh, dirty driving right there. Well, no, it wasn't terrible racing. I want terrible racing. Yeah, well, if that's terrible racing, you stop watching racing, please. Just stop. Don't watch it. Don't watch it. Don't talk about it on Facebook. Don't do anything because you don't know a damn thing about racing at all.
Well, and I'm one of them. Apparently, I've upset a few people. I mean, it's hard for me to I try to remove myself from the situation, but at the end of the day, that's my brother.
Yeah.
It don't matter if Josh blatantly right rears him and throws him up into the wall. I'm gonna be like, Keyshawn went up on him. I'm gonna just take his side no matter what. So
yeah, 100%.
Y'all can get off of my back about that. Y'all would do the same thing.
Yeah,
just like Keyshawn said, Josh would have did the same thing to him. It's all
100%.
It's all biased opinions, whatever.
I mean, with or without that finish, I mean, those guys, I seen one of them was talking about, well, they're just running over each other, trying to wreck each other every lap. No, if any of them tried to wreck each other, they would wreck. They're literally getting up underneath each other, getting them just enough to try to get by them, and then they can't most of the time.
All it takes is a slight turn right, and somebody's wrecking.
And none of them are doing that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It makes me mad to see these people on Facebook that obviously have never raced a day in their life. And they're like, that guy's an idiot. This guy's an idiot. He should have did this. And I'm like, it's real easy to say that after you've watched the video 5 times and really analyzed it.
Yeah. What makes me just laugh, it don't make me mad, it just makes me laugh, is the people who have raced that say the stupid stuff.
Oh, yeah.
That have go back to the mini stock wreck. I mean, I'm reading this dude has raced, and he's talking about, that was intentional. You can see when he turns the wheel. Yeah, dumbass. You can see when he makes contact with the tire of the other car. The 2 tires touch too. Yeah, we ain't going to take that into consideration, but, I don't know. I mean, it's just people kill me, man. They're just funny.
Yeah, I don't know what to call them. They're not backseat drivers because they weren't in the backseat.
No.
But bleacher drivers.
Yeah. Well, everybody that's sitting in the grandstands, in fairness, wants to be on the racetrack.
Oh, they do. It's
everybody.
That's the way we got here.
I mean, that's how that's where every racer comes from, is from the grandstands. So, nobody is driving down 581 in Roanoke and says, you know what, I'm gonna be a race car driver. Okay. Now they may think they are when they're in their car. Okay, I'm not saying they don't, but they don't just say, well, I'm gonna be a race car driver and go buy a car and come over here. Okay. They come sit in the stands, or they go South Boston, sit in the stands. They go to Natural Bridge or With Raceway or somewhere, and they go sit in the stands and they watch a race, and they go, dang, I got to buy a race car. And, depending on what kind of car they find for what kind of budget they have, they end up here or there or wherever. And, I mean, that's where racers come from.
That's the kind of thing I try to stress to my people.
Yeah.
Because we have a big family dinner on Sunday, and a lot of times after race day, we'll airplay the races to the TV, and we'll just, as a unit, break them down.
Yeah.
And they'll always say, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? You should have did this. And I'm like, listen, all your thoughts that you're thinking, they're fine. But all those thoughts go out the window when somebody hits you in your ass in when you're going 75 through a turn.
Yeah, right.
In a $500 junkyard car.
100%.
That is probably not very structurally sound, if we're just being honest.
They're all pretty sound.
Yeah, mine was definitely not when I first got it. Daryl, shout out to Daryl.
Yeah,
He strengthened the frame up for me a little bit.
I mean, your bootlegger you killed over here that belonged to Timmy, now it's not structurally sound. But
it was structurally sound.
It was before you got it.
Until you hit the wall going 60, whatever I was going. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. All them thoughts, it just comes down to you can think whatever you want, but it's pure instincts when you start beating and banging.
100%.
There ain't no thoughts about it.
Well, to that end, I've heard and seen people say, well, why didn't Josh just go to the outside? Why did he go to the inside of the lap car? My opinion, just having watched 10,000 races, when the 26 car comes up off the corner, I think he was going just to take the outside line there as if it was a normal lap. I don't think he realized how close the leaders were to him. And as he's going up the track, Josh has got to make a decision. Well, I better go to the inside. And he ends up inside. And at the same moment, the flagman here is giving the move over flag. And the 26, my opinion, he's rookie. He's young. He doesn't know. He's young in racing, not young, not young in life. He's probably older than I am. But so, oh, crap, I got to get out of their way.
Yeah.
Well, by that time, Josh is there. And I think it's one of the things that I think in the past, I think we need to fix this going in the future. But I think in the past, we've kind of taken the 1980s approach of lap cars need to get to the bottom. Well, telling them to get to the bottom is great. They can be at the bottom and get out of the way. But what happens when that scenario happens? And, they come up off the corner, they see the flag. The guy's already done made a move under them because they're going up. And that's what we end up with. So, I don't know. I think it's something we got to fix.
If you watch the video, you can see Josh. He throws it in the 3. He's halfway through, and he's about to come out of the corner, business as usual, thinking that the guy's going to dive down.
Yeah.
And then the guy starts going up.
Yeah, drifting up.
And you can see Josh stutter.
Yeah.
Like he goes right a little bit, he goes left. Yeah. He's not sure where to go.
Yep.
And then finally he said, I got to commit to the inside. And like you said, the guy kind of.
I think he saw the flag.
Which guy? Which one is that?
That's James.
James. Okay. Yeah. You can see him. He really does. He's like, uh-oh.
He reacts.
They're coming up on me.
Yeah, he either looked up, saw the flag, or he looked up in his rearview mirror and saw the cars.
And in the heat of the moment, of course, I'm like, that guy's an idiot. He should have moved.
Yeah, of course.
But after a couple days removed, I'm like,
it just happens.
I'm pretty sure he told me when I was talking to him that he raced any car long time ago.
Yeah,
which obviously has nothing to do with stock Ford at all.
No. Unless Wes is on some of his crack or something. I don't know.
So I give him the benefit of the doubt. Like he's newer to the procedures and all that. It just happens. It sucks for Josh that it happened that way, but it ain't the first time it's happened, and it ain't gonna be the last time.
It ain't gonna be the last, and it ain't gonna be the last that 22 and that 7 are banging fenders either. For sure.
Oh yeah.
100%.
If we're lucky, it's going to be all year long.
I hope.
And I'm starting to think it's going to be all year long.
Listen, I hope it's every race, every week, and I hope they never wreck. Okay. Hope they just keep beating the crap out of them.
So far, they've just been beating the hell out of each other.
Exactly. And to be honest with you, I know this is probably not the opinion of Josh Hinchee, but so far, neither one of them has done anything that would warrant any retaliation of any kind to wreck the other. Now,
maybe not wreck. Maybe put a spin on him or something.
I don't even know. He didn't spin him. He roughed him up. I think, in my mind, when you want to retaliate in racing, you should give the guy the same thing he gave you. Nothing more, nothing less.
Yeah.
And so far, neither one of them have wrecked. And I know how racers are. Well, Josh Hinchee, that's because I got talent enough to save the car. Well, we'll see if he does. Well, if you hit him the same way, probably does. I don't know. It was good, though. I was entertained.
It was good. It was entertaining, that's for sure.
Yeah. Keyshawn came home with the win. Josh ended up second. Austin Williams was third in that automatic. Fourth was Jaden in the automatic. Wes finished fifth. Gary Smith came home sixth. Josh Brown seventh. We had a 15-car field started that first race.
Oh, I noticed that as they were all lining up for qualifying.
And, we talked on the last podcast. I was like, man, I hope Chris Meeks and Adam Metzger come back soon. Be glad to have them here. Man, I was glad to have them here.
Yeah.
They didn't run very good, but I was glad to have them here.
Well, in their defense, they haven't been here. And the field has progressed.
Oh, it has.
So much since they've been gone
that
they're going to have to – come back a few times before they can get back into the groove of things.
Yeah. Yeah, I think if Adam Metzger hadn't have messed up in qualifying, I think he would have run better. Chris, he just said, man, he said, I'm just beat, so I don't know. And I think the speeds haven't really changed that much. I mean, not from last year.
I think it has a lot more to do with consistency.
Yeah, I would agree.
Instead of running, 18 flat, 17.9, and then every once in a while busting off a 5, they're running about 7s about every single lap.
Yeah.
Where, and they're nose to tail, and they're just.
Well, they are. They are for sure.
It's come a long way. I never would imagine that there'd be, 6 cars that are, back to back, battling each other week in and week out. It's going to be a good year. We're just getting started.
Oh yeah, 100%. And I think these guys are just gonna continue to put on a good show. The second race was, we only started 10 in the second race. Sorry, we started 10 cars in the second race. 5 of them either opted not to run because, quote unquote, the track was wet, which it was not. I mean, yes, it wasn't as dry as it was earlier in the day, but it wasn't. There was no wet spots. There were no real wet spots there. I mean,
it wasn't as dry as it was.
I mean, obviously there's moisture there. I mean, but I mean, listen, and this is, one of the guys said, well, they just wanted Wes to win that race. So yeah, I don't ever want Wes to win a race. Okay, actually I do. I want him to win a mini stock race or a Legends race or a late model race, or hell, I hope he goes and runs the Cup Series and wins one of them. Okay,
that'd be great. Nobody in stock 4 wants him to win.
Nobody here, nobody in stock 4, nobody wants to see him win another race. I can tell you right now, 100%.
Although at this point it has become like a rite of passage.
Yeah.
Can you beat Wes?
Listen, I mean, beating him is impressive for sure. No doubt about it.
I've still yet to get that. Every win I got, it was kind of he got hung up in the middle of the field.
Yeah.
Josh Brown got him one, sent him up the track, got him one.
Yeah.
It really is like Jaden's got one.
I mean, realistically, Josh Brown and Jaden are the only two that have outright beat him.
Yeah.
That I can think of at all.
Yeah.
I mean, never did he get to? Well, Adam Metzger did. Him and Adam and Chris run that race, and he was on the outside, and he couldn't get past Adam. So those 3 are really the only guys who have outright beat him.
Is that the one where Adam got himself spun after the checker flag?
No. That was another.
I faintly remember Adam, I think, winning the race and spinning after, or maybe he got second.
I don't think so. Maybe, I don't know, but yeah, they've had some pretty good intense battles there.
Oh yeah,
for sure. I mean, that's why I hate that Adam and them haven't been running full song, because I think those guys, him and Chris both are good competitors, and that both can beat Wes and compete with Wes and Keyshawn and Josh Hinchee and Josh Brown and Jaden. And I mean, if you go through this list, you got Keyshawn and Josh and Austin, having him back, was great. That's another guy who can win races regularly. Jaden, Wes, Gary Smith obviously already won a race, run really good in that second race this week. Josh Brown, Chris Meeks, Adam Metzger. I mean, that's 9 people right there that can win races. And I think, you got Chris Amos, who, if he gets his car right or gets a different car or whatever, a different scenario, obviously he's won a lot of races in U-Car, Stock 4, Tuners, all those divisions.
Poor Chris has just had the worst luck the past 2 years.
He has, for sure.
I feel so bad.
And then I'll tell you another one that I think could very well be a good Stock 4 contender if he drove a car more and got some practice. And Chris Lilly, the Legends guy, man, he jumped over there in the
half blown up
that we thought was blown up already.
It still was turning decent laps in the thing.
Oh my God, man! And finished 5th. He got disqualified. He was the only guy of the night to get disqualified, and that was because of the weight. And that was the difference between him and Austin's weight. Was what he got disqualified over, because Austin, they had weighed the car out with him. So, I think you got, that's the only division that I can think of in anywhere around. I mean, that's damn near Cars Tour level of, for what they are, of competition. You know, there's 10 or 15 guys that can win the car store. There's 10 or 15 guys that can win the smart tour. And damn, there's 10 guys that can win out of a 15-car field here.
I think Gary, if the things had gone a little bit better for him, Gary could have won that second race.
100%.
I was sitting there talking to his dad, Will.
Yeah.
You're right there in the middle of the race, and I was like, I think maybe if it were me on that last restart, if I was Gary, I would have took the inside.
Yeah.
And got behind West, but
yeah.
And I was talking to Will about that, and he was like, "Well, wave at him, tell him that." And I was like, "No, you got to let him decide whatever he might like it better."
That's right.
But
That's right.
If it was me, I probably would take. And he could have maybe. I don't know if Gary would have moved West, but
yeah. Listen, I think that eventually he might. I don't know that he would have Saturday night, but you know, I think, you know, had things played out differently there, Jaden's already shown you he'll move him.
Gary's still getting initiated.
Yeah, he is. And I think, honestly, you know, we talk about, you know, I don't know if you saw it or not. I know I showed you a picture there a second ago, but, you know, Jaden and Gary, right after that restart, man, they really got into it right down here in turn number one.
I never even saw that happen.
Holy
that
smokes.
picture you showed was crazy.
Holy smokes, man. I mean, they were completely sideways. If Gary hadn't have been there when Jaden went to save it, there was no way he was saving the car. I mean, he'd have been up in the wall. He might have been sitting up there with the fans or something because, I mean, he was gone.
Yeah, that was a rough one.
It was impressive for both of them to save their cars. Really good, intense racing. Neither one of them was mad at either one of them. You know, it's just racing. In the beginning, I think that you know, I don't know about both, but I think that you know, Jaden, you know, thought that Gary had come down, but I think, you know, once he got to watch the video and analyze it, I think he felt like he got in there a little too hard. And I mean, it's racing, man. These guys were racing, and they saved it.
Yeah.
I mean, another not caution.
Well, with the adrenaline pumping and everything, it's hard to tell what's really going on.
Oh, it is.
Until you go back and watch the video.
100%.
I mean, that one race, I thought I honestly could have swore to you that I shoved Josh Brown up in the West.
Yeah, yeah.
And then come look at the video, I was like, there was half a car in between. I never touched him.
Well, a good example was that because I was watching the race, and that's what I thought happened. I was like, man, he's gonna dump Josh afterwards, and you know, Noah's the problem here. You know,
yeah, I could have swore that's what happened.
And you know, if there's a recording somewhere of what I said, you know, when Keyshawn hit Josh at this angle from the tower here, I was about right where I'm at now. I'm leaned up, looking out, and I thought Austin shoved Keyshawn down in there. That's what it looked like from here. But I watched the video, and Austin, I mean, he was close, but he wasn't that close.
Yeah, he was about half a car away.
Yeah, yeah. So
it is just hard to, especially when you're driving. It's hard to tell. You don't know what's going on.
And I'm gonna be honest with you. You're talking about, you know, analyzing video. Even when you analyze video, sometimes it depends on the angle of the video.
Yeah, it does.
Like the video of the mini stock wreck over here, I think that because it's at that angle where it's, you know, looking straight down into that corner, they're over there on the spotter stand over on the back, looking down into turn 3. I think it looks like it. I think that's what gives these fans, that, you know, or, you know, people that say, you know, oh, they, you know, he intentionally wrecked him. I think it gives that vibe because it's at that angle. I think if you were at a different angle, front stretch maybe, where you see the car get in there, I think you see a whole totally different thing.
I wish GoPro would give us a sponsorship.
Yeah.
And that way we could put GoPros
on every car.
The inside driver cam.
Yeah.
So you can see exactly what their hands are doing, what they're doing.
Yeah.
And that would give people a hugely different perspective.
Yep, it would, for sure, for sure. Man, it was, but second race, we'll tap into the second stock 4 race here. I talked a little bit about Chris Lilly there, but second race, Wes Gibbons wins. We didn't want to talk about that.
Boring.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and listen, I got to give it to him, though. I mean, he had to put 50 pounds penalty weight on for winning 2 consecutive races. Yeah, he lost that first race. Man, second race comes right back, wins the race. And I talked about the dry, you know, not as dry, whatever, for the second race. They weren't really slipping around much. But, I mean, I think mentally, I think they all give him the race. You know what I mean? Because they were scared. Like, he was, man, they come around first pace lap. He's giving the thumbs up. You know, he's trying to get his hand up as high as he can because he wants to go green as fast as he can because the track was still wet at that point. And we run, I don't know, 10 or 12 laps there. Waiting for Josh Brown to give us, you know, he was starting on the pole. We never got a response from the 97, but, we figured, if 5 gives us a response, we know what's going on, we'll go. You know what I mean? Wes, obviously, every lap, he's trying
I
to go.
think Wes, there's nothing Wes would love more than to run that race.
Oh, 1,000%.
On the pure wet track.
1,000%.
I mean, Wes won that semi-TikTok famous rain IndyCar race last year.
He would have lapped the stock 4 field 3 times. Had we run in the rain, okay? I'm just going ahead and tell you that would have been the most boring. It would have been entertaining to watch them sideways all the time, but it would have been the most boring race for the win you ever seen.
I will give it to Wes. When it's a sketchy situation, he lets them things, they hang low, man.
Yeah.
He don't care.
For sure. Anything else from Saturday night that we hadn't talked about or thought about? Or
I'm trying to think.
I don't know of anything.
There was a lot going on.
It was. There was all kinds of things going on Saturday.
Overall, it's still a really good night.
It was a really good night.
Other than the little rain delay we had.
Yeah. I think it was about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour, rain for like 10, 15 minutes, and then, everybody got to have fun out there on the track, I guess.
Well, the problem was it poured down rain for about 15 minutes.
It did. And, ordinarily, I probably would have threw in the towel, but, man, the night had progressed so good, so fast, it was so early that I was just like, you know what, let's give it a little bit here. And I was watching the radar. If, there was a second rain, I was like, if we get it in before that second rain comes, which it never did come, but if we get it in before that, man, we'll be good. And we were, so.
Yeah, the mini stocks had a long time to think about it. They had a good intermission in there.
Yeah, laps.
I was confused for a second. I was like, are we running twin mini stocks tonight? They were like, no, same race. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. We couldn't figure out how to fix that in scoring. We're rookie scorers. Kim's got a lot of experience doing it, but rookie in this aspect, couldn't figure out how to restart the race from the point that it was at. There's probably a way to pause it or something. We have no idea how to do that, but so we had to fix scoring at the end to add Josh and Stonewall where they wrecked out. Kind of. We probably saved some cars by them two wrecking each other over there because the way that rain came in, it came in right there in turn 3. I mean, we might not have got a caution out before they dove down in there and just trashed them all.
It came in fast.
It did.
I was standing right here on the finish line, and it said drop, boom.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, my goodness.
Yeah, it definitely rolled in really quickly, and I've seen that scenario happen in practice here before. Adam Hollingsworth was here with his late model, and Mike Looney was on the radio with him, and the rain, he was coming down this front straightaway, and as he's coming down the front straightaway, so is the rain. It's like right behind him, and so he gets he's full bore when he goes into turn number 3. He about went through the scoreboard over here. Mike's on the radio trying to tell him, but he can't get him stopped fast enough.
Yeah.
So about took out the old scoreboard at that point, which it don't work anymore, so it would have been more exciting if he had.
I almost did that my first appearance in Wes's car, which is the one Jaden's been running, the automatic.
Yeah.
The first time I came out here in practice, it had rained hours ago. And I was like, the track is fine. I threw it into 3 on my first lap, and that thing slid right up. I must have missed the wall by an inch. And I was like, whoo! All right, let's take her back in. Let's wait a little while longer.
You had to go change your underwear in between that.
I wasn't wearing any, but, yeah, I get what you're saying.
Well, you had to change your driver's uniform, I guess. I don't know. So, yeah, good. Another good night, though. The Boone Tractor night. Really appreciate Boone Tractor stepping up and helping us. It was a good night. Glad to have the Grand National Super Series here with us. They come back sometime in July. No, July. It's in July.
Those cars are cool, man.
Yeah, they are. And I'm going to tell you something I didn't mention when we were talking about that a minute ago. Man, they were flying.
Oh, yeah, they were.
Like, in the past, they run like high 14s. Man, 1395 or something was the pole.
Oh, I remember because I was watching because I was ready to, announce it on the microphone. I was watching qualifying time, and everybody was running about similar times. I can't remember who it was, but popped off like a second and a half faster than every other car. And I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
I honestly thought that the scoring was messed up or something. Because I was like, there's no way that just happened.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty good though. I mean, the 1390 in a car that heavy is damn impressive right there. Really is impressive. This weekend, well, I don't want to. We'll talk about this weekend here in a minute. Let's talk about South Boston Speedway for a second, okay? You said that them Hornets, their new car, stock force, whatever they are, they race all clean and they don't tear up their cars.
Nope, they never do.
Well, apparently they weren't listening, okay?
All right, I'll say it. I take it back.
Because I seen they had them a marathon down there, and I seen Andy Newsom, which great photographer, one of the best in the business. I seen his picture, and I was looking at the bottom of some guy's car.
Yeah, he parked the roof up on the outside wall.
He did.
All right, I take it back. Milam, I don't know how to pronounce your name. I'm sorry. Okay, I take it back. I apologize. Y'all give her the beans down there.
Yeah, I think those guys would fit in here more than they know.
I did see one video. I think it was from the beginning of the year, or maybe it was last year. I don't know. It was a dude just straight running over another guy in the restart.
Yeah,
and that was like, whew. It was a pretty rough one. Put him in the inside wall. Yeah, I'll give it to him. Them boys get a little down and dirty every once in a while.
They do. It was, glad they got their race in. Avoided the rain too. So, but sound like those Hornets really went after it this weekend. I'm going to have to go watch on Flow. I'm going to have to go back and watch their race.
I'm man enough to admit when I was wrong.
Yeah,
I was wrong. I'm sorry to all of South Boston.
Yeah, well, Milam's still waiting on you to get your car out there so he can race you, okay?
Bring it on, buddy. My car will be out there eventually.
Yeah, when's your car going to be out there?
I don't know. Depends how the weather turns out this weekend.
Yeah. I mean, who you gonna let drive it? I mean, you gonna put one of Wes's minions in it, or you got a minion of your own, or?
It's hard to get Wes's minions. His henchmen.
It is.
Yeah, we got a couple ideas.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a surprise.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe it was Mayfield. Maybe I talked him into it.
Yeah, I don't think you did.
I'm mad he didn't show up to practice on Friday because I had a plan. I told everybody. I told Darryl. I said, Darryl, I'm offering Jeremy Mayfield to drive my car. If he says yes, we got to work on it. We got to put stickers on it. We got to get it down here.
Yeah, somebody told me that they asked him about driving a stock 4. Maybe it was Wes. Maybe it was somebody else. And he said, no, man, those guys are crazy.
Oh, I bet.
Hey, I'll tell you, Frank Kimmel was here this past weekend. I don't know if you know who Frank is because, you're not that big a racing guy. But Frank Kimmel, former Daytona ARCA winner, probably, I don't know how many ever times. He's like a 7 or 8 or 10 time champion of the ARCA series. He was here all weekend with the Kitzmillers, and he was talking to me about this track. He's like, man, this place is great. He said it reminded him of, I believe, Kentucky Motor Speedway. He said him and Mayfield were actually talking about how much it reminded them of that track, and that was one of their favorite tracks when they were coming through the ranks and stuff. So good high praise from Frank Kimmel, and of course Jeremy Mayfield's said in the past how much he likes the track. We get a lot of racers, man. Ryan Newman talks about how much he loves it. Bobby Labonte was here yesterday. He loves the track. He talked about it on WDBJ 7, last year, I believe. Man, if you could just, get these guys here, all together here, like at the same time, it'd be cool.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I caught some boos for talking about Jeremy Mayfield. I don't know if you saw that.
No.
Because I said he was the only one here that's ever bumped and run Dale Earnhardt to win a race.
I bet you got some boos for that
I
one.
got a couple boos for that one.
Probably,
that don't make it not true.
Probably got some middle fingers too.
Probably. I didn't see him, but
yeah, you can't listen. You can't talk about that move that he made on Earnhardt. People don't. If people, they can talk about all the things that happened to him after that. People really hate him for that.
Look, point is, he was the only one here.
Yep.
Maybe in the history of Franklin County Speedway, of drivers anyway, that have moved Dale Earnhardt out the way and won a race.
Hell, I can't think of anybody else that's done it in the Cup Series. Period.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, you just don't move Dale Earnhardt. I mean, you just don't do it.
He did it.
And he did it, and he
was
won.
The only one with the stones enough to do it.
Definitely, for sure. For sure. He's a cool guy. He hung out some after the race, and I seen he had His spotter was here. The spotters, I can't. It's Hunter Smith, I believe, and his old lady or his girlfriend or whatever it is, Melissa Fifield. She's a modified racer up north. I seen she was here, so that was cool. Maybe she'll come back and run this Smart Tour race. Maybe she was scoping out the place.
Maybe one could only hope.
Hey, need all the cars. Need all the cars we can get for that show. Even though there's going to be plenty, man. There's 20 plus for sure going to be entered. Could be more than that.
It's getting close. I'm getting excited. But I already know I'm going to be sad because it's going to be gone soon.
Yep. That's one thing about big races. They come and go really fast.
Yeah, they do.
It's our only visit of the year for the Smart Tour. Man, I'd love to have 2 a year, but man, it makes this one a little more special, I think.
I feel like half the fun is all the anticipation and everything leading up to the race.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to tell you, it's been fun with these guys coming here testing. Ryan Newman and Tom Buzzy, and they came and tested that day. There was a 602 guy here, too, and I don't remember his name, and I apologize for that. Jake Crum came last week. Then we had 5 of them here yesterday. 6 drivers, technically, because Bobby Labonte was here. Driving, I don't know if he's driving Luke Baldwin or Jonathan Cash's car. Jonathan Cash was here, and Luke Baldwin and Brandon Ward, Johnny Kay, and Joey Coulter was here too. And Joey Coulter had somebody else in his car, so there's technically 7 drivers here testing yesterday.
So is Bobby Labonte going to run, or is he? I know he just took a job or something at Joe Gibbs.
I got to get the answer to that. I'm assuming by the fact that he was here testing that he is planning on running.
That's what I was assuming. He wasn't going to be here, and then I saw where you posted or whatever that he was here, and I was like, "Uh-oh."
Speaking of me posting that, I mean, I'm giving a little shout out to my son Junior. Man, incredible photos. Kid is getting really good.
Junior took those?
Junior took all the photos you've seen from testing, except maybe 1 or 2, has been Junior's. So,
oh man,
I mean. Super good. I'm looking through them right here as we talk. I mean, super good photos.
Those are majestic looking.
I mean, hey, he's technically he's 2 years old because he's a leap baby. 8, really. How many years he's been on the earth. But man, he's doing a great job. Heck, he signed them all in yesterday. He collected money from all of them but one. I got a name for him. But anyways, he collected all from one guy that was a hassle, but whatever. And took all the photos, and he's doing a great job.
Did he actually give you the money, or did he just pocket it?
Well, he attempts to pocket it, but he's a lot smaller than I am.
He's trying to buy himself a new bike.
Oh, he's trying to buy himself.
He's still searching for that first bike race win this year.
Yeah, he's not very happy about that either. He told me that he'd prefer if Kevin Nicely didn't come to no more races. Okay.
Yeah, it's got to the point where I've stopped interviewing him. I'm like, you're going to win. We know it.
Yep. You're the winner. Let's move on.
Speaking of which, are we going to talk about that? A little bike race action?
What happened? I don't know.
Next week? Or this week?
Yeah. You haven't been over here to practice, though.
It's raining.
Listen, you should be out there in the rain practicing, okay?
Look, last time I've been on a bike, I told you on Saturday, was 10 years and 150 pounds ago.
Yeah.
I tried to get on a bike in Daryl's garage and almost fell over the other day. The poor tires.
Can you imagine what's going to happen on the banking here?
You ever seen Norbit, where Rasputin gets on the donkey and the donkey's legs just go flat? That's what the poor bike tires look like.
Holy crap, man.
They just went flat. And Daryl was like, them things got like 60 PSI pressure. I was like, this is going to be a rough one.
But you got to race. I mean, you got to be in it.
I guess.
I mean, I'm going to take the golf cart out there and race y'all. I'm going to turn it all the way down, though.
They don't care. No, you getting your ass on a bike.
Hell no.
Yeah, you are.
I'll give you $20, but I ain't getting on the bike.
How about a tricycle?
No. I'll get a motorcycle, okay?
No.
I'll probably fall off.
Okay, a motorcycle, but you gotta pedal it with your feet.
I'm going to pass. Can I take the zero turn, the John Deere, down here, the James River Equipment John Deere? Can I take you in?
You have to start on the back stretch.
I still think I can beat y'all. Although Timmy said he's got a bike that'll go like 500 mile an hour or something. I don't know.
He says a lot of things.
But anyways, we're talking
500 pounds with his ass on it, or with somebody skinny.
Holy crap! I can't believe you went there. yours and Jordan's inheritance gets smaller every time you're on this podcast.
Oh, well. I do it for the love of the game.
Wow. So what we're talking about here is the Maggard Insurance adult bike race. Going to have some racers in it. I think they've already talked Wes into running, which I ain't seen him practice either because that's going to be good.
Daryl's been practicing at the house.
Daryl's been practicing, yep. Jaden, he practices all the time. He's ready to go for that. That's the one you have to watch out for, I think.
That's the favorite.
I do too, because I'm telling you, he gets out here and whips up on the kids, and sometimes he takes a bike as small as theirs and does it, so it's going to be interesting.
I think we should have a fat guy starting line and a skinny guy starting line.
So your starting line going to be over here in the right below the scoreboard?
Yeah. And I might have to take 3 breaks.
You tell them to time out on the back. Hey, y'all stop. Y'all stop.
Yeah.
Y'all stop. Hold on, I got to take a break. We'll blow a whistle or something. Get them to stop.
There you go.
Every time you hear the whistle, you stop. Jeez.
You got to get me one of them lapel mics so I can commentate live as I'm going around the track.
Oh Lord, yeah, I don't know about all that. I mean, the way your race is going to go, I probably could walk beside of you and let you
probably.
Jesus. Anyways, this is for charity, so it's going to be fun. And that's, right now the weather looks a little rough for this weekend. It's raining right now. It's supposed to rain tomorrow. It's supposed to be clear Thursday. Friday and Saturday doesn't look too good. Anyways, we'll see what happens. But it's the Maggard Insurance adult bike race. Going to go to a charity. I think, whatever rescue squad comes, Saturday, we'll donate the money to them. I think she's going to match it, I believe.
Yep, she's matching all the donations and everything from the race. So
yeah, I think Timmy said he instead of paying a $20 entry fee, he's going to pay $1,000 just so she has to spend some money.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, and if you're over 65 and you participate and you wreck, call Maggard Insurance with all your Medicare needs.
Jesus.
They'll get you hooked up.
Yeah, for sure. Wow. Oh, let's see. Anything else? I want to say, about the rain delay this past weekend. Thank you to everybody that went out on the track, the racers. We got the one-stop tow truck out on the track for that. First time moving from the pits. That's an inside joke most of you don't know about.
I'm sure they do.
This week, if we race, we're not going to have the late models run. It's kind of a little bit of confusion on that. I'd originally going to make this their makeup race from where they got rained out earlier in the year.
Are they in timeout?
Well, no, it's just, man, they got to get their stuff together, and I got to try to give them time. And maybe if I give them, another week off, when we come back on the 27th, they'll be ready to go. And
that's the exact definition of a timeout. They are in timeout.
Okay, they're in timeout. Whatever. But I'm trying to give them a little bit of time to get their stuff together. You know what I mean? So,
let them think about what they did.
Well, not that. I let them work on their cars. I mean, jeez, man. I mean, I don't know what has been up with them, but they have been, they've been off the rails here. So,
to quote dude from Talladega Nights, they're driving like a bunch of pissed off teenagers out there.
So without them running and without anything else added, I was originally going to add the 602 mods to it, but then I forgot I had the 602 mods next week, and I didn't want to try to have them back to back there. So this weekend's lineup will be twin Legends, twin stock 4s, and a single mini stock feature. Hopefully we've got some of them together. Obviously 2 of them taken out. They're not going to be here. But we had 8 or 9 cars this past weekend. Hopefully we can get
it was a good show.
Most of the rest of them back and maybe add 1 or 2 to it. I feel like I'm going to tell you. I know that a lot of people had a lot of questions when we decided to cut back to 4 divisions. You were probably one of them going, "What in the heck is this guy thinking?" It's starting to play out.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, car counts are coming up. I feel like in every division. I know we had an off night with the Legends this week. They had 13 and 13 the first 2 races, and then we had 7 this week. But there's some, situations there underlying, people working on cars broke, vacations, all kinds of stuff. It just kind of culminated on the same weekend that people were doing other things. And you can never plan for what somebody's going to be doing or going through or whatever. But I mean, I feel like stock 4s really stepped it up with 15 cars. I feel like we're progressing, and if we can get these late models on the right track, maybe we'll get 10, 11, 12 of them here on the 27th, and they not just destroy all of them. That would be great, and we can continue to try to build that.
Yeah, Hopefully. I love late models. That's the thing is that when the late models get a bunch of them, they put on such a great show.
100%. 100%. This weekend is also First Responders Night. First responders with ID or badge, they get in free. Just the first responder, not everybody with them, so everybody else has got to pay. But is getting a discount this week. It's also going to be Fan Appreciation Night, $10 tickets instead of the $15. So save them $5. Hopefully they'll come over and spend it at the concession.
We got to settle an argument here. Timmy claims that tow truck drivers are first responders. Do tow truck drivers get in for free?
You know,
I probably shouldn't put you on the spot like that, but honestly, I was thinking about it.
I mean, I would not consider them first responders.
He swears.
I mean,
we're first responders.
I get the idea of that because they do have to, if there's a wreck on the road, they do have to respond to pick up the car, but they're not doing anything for the person.
I feel like technically they are not first responders.
They are not.
3 different people get there before they're even called. Yeah. No offense to tow truck drivers.
I mean, I would not consider them, but I would like to do,
tow truck night.
The towing business is like, and this is an idea I had, and you're going to tell me that I'm stupid, okay? This is an idea that I had. I think we should have a tow truck, tow company night and invite all the tow companies within, however far or how many ever want to come and have a tow truck driver competition. You know what I mean? Like maybe set a car over there, flipped over, and they gotta work it. Whoever the 2 people or 1 person that's in it, they gotta go get it flipped back over, get it loaded up, and get it taken off. It'd take a while, but it'd be interesting.
I think that's a pretty good idea. Huh?
I mean, and maybe, they all, do it on a night of destruction, and like they all got cars setting that can run very easily or do run, that somebody's not paid for or whatever, paid to storage on. Get to bring a car with you. If you ain't got a driver, we'll find you one. You know what I mean? And they represent your company. You paint your thing on there, and that's the tow truck race. And whatever company wins that, they get a really cool like tow truck race trophy, and they get to take it to their shop, and for the year, that's theirs. And,
well, they got to bring them back?
Oh, yeah. Every year you bring it back.
Yeah. You got to get a belt.
Next year, we could do the
tow belt.
We get a tow truck that sticks off the side. That'd be cool looking, man. I'm telling you, man.
I think that's not a bad idea.
I mean, I got a lot of people, in the towing business that are, involved around here, So I need to work on that because I think
the final challenge is they have to argue on the phone about tow prices to people.
The $50 tows are going to win.
They have to argue about the storage fees.
Yeah, storage fees. I mean, it's a good part of the business, I guess, for sure. But that's some idea I've had. I've had that for a while. Just don't know how to execute it. You know what I mean?
I think it's not a bad idea.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna put you in charge of the execution of that. So
I'll try to make it happen.
We'll pick a date and make it happen. Got a lot of good racing coming up, though. Of course, the Smart Modified race we've talked about already. Next Friday, May the 24th, 8 p.m. Smart Modified Tour is going to be here. Carolina Crate Modified Tour, which is 602s, is going to be here. The Legends are going to be here, and I'm toying with the idea of adding another class. Man, these stock fours having 15 cars makes me want to add them.
Yeah.
But last year, you stunk up the show and made me regret adding them.
No, I don't care. I had fun.
I'm sure you do not care.
I'm sure Austin Williams had fun looking at my back bumper all the time, too.
Well, I mean, he had to look at Keyshawn's this past weekend, the whole race. So, he's used to that, I guess.
It's so fun after them modifieds. They put up the best times. Dude.
Oh, man. I guarantee it. But I'm thinking about adding them. I don't know. Maybe the stock four guys that listen to this, they'll hit me up and tell me that we should. I need to get enough of them. I think we only had 7 or 8 last year, and that kind of ruined the show too. But I need, if I could get 10 or 15 of them, put on a good show. We'll see. We'll see what happens with that. After that, the Monday, Sunoco Memorial Day bash. Be after that on Monday, Memorial Day, the 27th.
I'm excited for that. My mystery costume's coming out for that one.
Mystery costume. Got all the core divisions running that night, and I think the East Coast Flatheads run with us that night. So we'll have, 6 or 7 races that night. Be a good one. Might throw some fireworks up in the sky at some point. try to put on a good show for the fans that night. Then after that, we got First Amendment night, the Pawn Shop First Amendment night, June 1st. I think all of our core divisions run that night. And then June 15th, the Calvin Brooks Memorial Race. That'll be another good one. But got a lot of bunch of stuff. I can't remember the name of the race for June 22nd, but June 29th got the Night of Destruction, the first one of the year, 1,000 to win, 4-cylinder enduro, not to be confused with the stock 4 division, even though they're similar.
I think there's going to be a lot more wrecks in the enduro.
I don't know, man. I don't know. It just depends. It depends on who you get in the enduro. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I'm sure Wes will be there, so there'll be somebody wrecking.
I don't know. I don't know if Wes will run the 4-cylinder portion or not. I know he's got the 6-cylinder. I know he'll be in it. And I had a guy call me the other day. He was bringing 5 6-cylinders to run that night, so may have enough to split the 6s and 8s too. That would be a good night.
We'll see.
We had 10 or 15 of each of them. Put on a good show. That'd be great.
We're getting into the bread and butter of the season.
We are. And July 4th, right around the corner after that. I guess 6 days later, 5 days later, whatever it is, we got July 4th. Got the Carolina crates, great modifieds, and the Carolina Pro late models coming that night. I'm not sure what of our regular divisions run that night, and then we got July 6th. It's another race, but anyways, got a lot of good races coming up, and I'm looking forward to all of them, man. Maybe we'll get this weekend in. We'll see what happens weather-wise. Last time that I said that the weather looked terrible, it changed on me 37 times, and then we ended up canceling, and we probably could have got it in.
That happens around here.
So I've had a good record over the years. I think that was only the second time that I've canceled, and we really could have got the show in. Of the course of all the promotion that I've done here.
It's hard to predict the weather around here.
Is.
Sometimes it'll say it's going to pour down rain, and it's like 72 and sunny.
Well, that mountain that you can't see because of the fog back there plays such a role in whether it rains here or not.
Yeah.
I mean, my house is right above, the mountain there, right at the top, and sometimes it'll rain there so bad my entire driveway, which is 3/4 of a mile long, is washed out, and it don't do anything here. And then vice versa, it'll just completely miss, to the other side. So you just never know what it's going to do here. You got to kind of really pay attention. And I've been lucky over the years that I've made the right choices more times than not. But I don't know. I seem to be striking out more this year.
Well, we'll see.
We'll see.
Here's your redemption week.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Anything else? Anything else we ain't talked about coming up or happened this past weekend, or NASCAR racing, or what? What do you want to talk about?
I ain't even watched a NASCAR race this past weekend.
It looked pretty good. Brad Keselowski took home the win.
Boo.
Glad to see that.
Boring.
Reddick took out Busher for the win. I mean, for the lead, I guess.
I did see pictures of that.
Yeah. Busher was not happy. Shoved him. It was pretty good.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't watch a race.
Thought that might be what we'd see, over here between the 22 and the 7 afterwards.
I was playing video games.
I got you. All right. I guess that'll do it for this week's episode of the Pit Chatter Podcast. We'll be back next Wednesday. That's when you guys hear it. We're recording it on Tuesday. Chris Williams from the Smart Modified Tour. He'll be here as one of our guests, and we may have somebody else, but stay tuned. Got Chris Lilly coming up here in the next couple of weeks. Been working on Wilton Agee, the guy who built this track. Have him come in for a podcast. Got a bunch of guests we're working on. People are starting to listen more and more, and I think racers are wanting to be on here more and more. I've heard a lot of them talking, and some of them have asked me, about being on here. So I want to get them on and talk about their racing and tell their story.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to talking to all these guys.
Yep, for sure. All right, guys, we'll see you next week.
Bing bong.